Michael Mann's Heat came out in 1995 and changed action movies forever. The downtown Los Angeles shootout became one of the most famous gun battles ever filmed. Today, we are breaking down every single firearm in this movie, over 30 weapons across pistols, rifles, shotguns, and submachine guns. We are going through all of them. The production team sourced these props from Stembridge Gun Rentals, a Hollywood armory that has been supplying films since the 1920s. Mann consulted with law enforcement and ex-military advisors to make sure every weapon choice made sense for the characters using them. If you are into this kind of breakdown, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Let us start with the pistols, because these sidearms show up throughout the entire film in the quieter moments before everything goes loud. Lieutenant Vincent Hanna, played by Al Pacino, carries a Colt M1991A 1 Series 80 Officers ACP chambered in .45 ACP. This compact pistol has ivory grips, a full-size trigger, and a ring hammer. He keeps it in a cross-draw holster and pulls it out during the final confrontation at the airfield. The M1991A1 evolved from the legendary M1911 and came out in 1985 as a shorter-barreled version made for concealed carry. The barrel measures 3.5 inches, the overall length sits at 7 inches, and it weighs 34 ounces with a 7-round magazine. But here's the part most people miss. Pacino performs a classic press check in the film, sliding the action back slightly to confirm there is a round in the chamber. Did you notice this detail on your first watch? This shows Hanna's Marine background and the production team's commitment to getting things right. Neil McCauley, Robert De Niro's character, starts the movie carrying a Heckler & Koch USP in 9mm. You see it during the armored car heist in the drive-in ambush. The USP came out in 1993 and was built for reliability in rough conditions. The barrel length is 4.25 inches, the total length reaches 7.68 inches, and it weighs 1.6 pounds. The magazine holds 15 rounds of 9mm. McCauley fires through a windshield with this pistol in one scene, and the accuracy of the shot placement reflects real-world ballistics. Later in the film, McCauley switches to a SIG P220 in .45 ACP. He uses this pistol to kill Waingro and in the final duel with Hanna. The P220 is a Swiss-German collaboration from 1975, known for its precision shooting. The barrel measures 4.4 inches, the overall length is 7.7 inches, and it weighs 1.9 pounds. The magazine capacity is 8 rounds. And here's the fun part. De Niro also performs a press check with this weapon, adding another layer of authenticity. Waingro, the unstable crew member who causes so many problems, carries a Star Megastar in 10mm auto. This is a massive handgun. He has it in black early in the film, and then a nickel-plated version later on. The Star Megastar was produced in Spain from 1991 to 1997 and remains one of the few 10mm handguns ever mass-produced. The barrel is 4.6 inches, the overall length reaches 8.4 inches, and the all-steel construction brings the weight to 3 pounds. The magazine holds 14 rounds. Now this is where things get crazy. According to the Internet Movie Firearms database, Heat is the only major film credit for this pistol. Do you think Hollywood exaggerated this gun, or does it fit Waingro's unhinged personality? Chris Shiherlis, Val Kilmer's character, prefers the Beretta 84 FS in .380 ACP. You see it holstered on him and sitting beside him during the domestic scenes with his wife. The Cheetah series dates back to 1976 and was designed as a compact backup weapon. The barrel length is 3.8 inches, the total length is 6.8 inches, and it weighs 23 ounces. The double-stack magazine holds 13 rounds. The LAPD officers in the film carry standard-issue Beretta 92 FS pistols in 9mm. The United States military adopted this pistol as the M9 in 1985, and it became famous for reliability under stress. The barrel measures 4.9 inches, the overall length is 8.5 inches, and it weighs 34 ounces. The magazine capacity is 15 rounds with a double-action, single-action trigger system. Over 300,000 of these pistols were produced for military and law enforcement use. You will see Hanna's team drawing these throughout the investigation scenes and the final pursuit. Other pistols appearing throughout the film include the Beretta 85 FS, a variant of the 84 with an 8-round magazine, the Beretta 92 SBC compact version, and the Glock 19 carried by an unspecified LAPD officer. The Glock 19 came out in 1988 as a compact version of the Glock 17, with a 4-inch barrel and 15-round capacity in that lightweight polymer frame that changed handgun design forever. Chirito, played by Tom Sizemore, carries a Ruger KP 90 and 45 ACP during the armored car robbery. He keeps it in a cross-draw holster. This double-action, single-action pistol with a decocker came out in 1991. The barrel is 4.5 inches, the overall length is 7.75 inches, and it weighs 34 ounces with an 8-round magazine. The same prop appeared in other films from that era like True Lies. There are also 2 revolvers that show up in background shots with LAPD officers, likely Smith & Wesson Model 36 or Colt Detective Special models chambered in .38 Special. These add authenticity to the period setting. Which pistol here is your favorite? Now let us get into the rifles, because these weapons define the film's most intense sequences. McCauley uses a Colt Model 654 in 5.56 by 45 mm for the armored car heist. This carbine came before the M4 that everyone knows today. The barrel length is 14.5 inches, it takes 30-round magazines, and it weighs 5.6 pounds. Colt developed this in the 1960s for special operations units who needed something compact for urban environments. De Niro uses it to execute a guard, and then discards it after the heist. The Colt model. 733, sometimes called the Commando, shows up in the hands of both Shiherlis and McCauley during the robberies. This is the weapon Val Kilmer uses in that famous Shootout reload. The barrel is even shorter at 11.5 inches with a collapsible stock, and it weighs 5.8 pounds. The 30-round magazine feeds 5.56 ammunition. This rifle has Vietnam-era origins and became a favorite of Delta Force operators. But here's the part most people miss. Kilmer's reload technique, where he taps the magazine to seat it properly, is textbook military procedure. Realistic or pure movie magic? What do you think? Chirito carries the heavy firepower during the armored car scene with an FN FAL 50.61 paratrooper chambered in 7.62 by 51 mm. This rifle has a folding stock for easier handling in vehicles. The barrel measures 20 inches, the magazine holds 20 rounds, and the whole weapon weighs 9.5 pounds. The FN FAL earned the nickname the right arm of the free world during the Cold War and saw service in over 90 countries. Sizemore performs a failure drill with this rifle, which is 2 shots to the chest followed by 1 to the head. The bank heist gives Chirito the IMI Galil ARM Model 372 in 5.56 mm. This Israeli rifle has a bipod and a wood handguard. The barrel length is 18.1 inches. The magazine capacity is 30 rounds, and it weighs 9.6 pounds. The Galil design from 1972 borrowed heavily from the AK platform while incorporating features from the Finnish Valmet rifle. And here is the fun part. There is actually a continuity error in the film where the folding stock disappears in some shots. Did you catch that? Shiherlis provides Overwatch at the drive-in theater with a Heckler & Koch HK91A2 in 7.62 by 51 mm. He mounts it on a bipod for stability during long-range shooting. The barrel is 17.7 inches, the magazine holds 20 rounds, and the rifle weighs 10.2 pounds. The HK91A2 is the civilian version of the famous G3 battle rifle and uses a roller-delayed blowback system. Lieutenant Hanna grabs an FN FNC for the shootout, specifically the paratrooper model with a shortened barrel. This Belgian design from 1979 has a 16-inch barrel, 30-round magazine capacity, and weighs 8.4 pounds. Now, this is where things get crazy. The FN FNC is actually an unusual choice for LAPD, and the production team selected it specifically to give Hanna a distinctive look compared to the other officers. Pacino fires it on semi-automatic throughout the scene to show his character's discipline and concern for collateral damage. Here is a question for you. Out of all these rifles we have covered so far, which one would you grab in a firefight? Drop your answer in the comments. The LAPD detectives like Casals and Bosco use M16A1 rifles in 5.56mm. Some have A2 handguards installed. The barrel measures 20 inches, the magazine holds 30 rounds, and the rifle weighs 7.2 pounds. But here's the part most people miss. The LAPD did not actually have access to M16A1 rifles until after the 1997 North Hollywood shootout, which happened 2 years after Heat came out. So this is technically an anachronism in the film. Trejo carries a Norinco Type 56 one during the armored car robbery. This is a Chinese copy of the AKM with an underfolding stock. The barrel is 16.3 inches. It takes 30-round magazines of 7.62 by 39mm, and it weighs 8.4 pounds. The SWAT team carries Heckler & Koch HK91A2 carbines mocked up to look like MP5A3 submachine guns. They never actually fire them in the film. The HK94A2 is the civilian version of the MP5 with an 8.9-inch barrel and 30-round magazine capacity in 9mm. The roller delayed blowback system gives it smooth operation and controllable recoil. Let us talk about the shotguns, because these handle the close-range devastation. Chirito uses a Benelli M3 Super 90 and 12 gauge during the drive and ambush. This Italian design from 1989 can switch between pump action and semi-automatic operation. The barrel is 19.75 inches. The tube magazine holds 5+1 rounds and it weighs 7.2 pounds. Law enforcement agencies love this shotgun for its versatility. Hanna grabs a Mossberg 590 for the airfield confrontation, and LAPD officers use them during breach entries. This military-grade pump-action shotgun has a 20-inch barrel, 8+1 capacity, and weighs 7.25 pounds. The Mossberg 500 and Remington 870 also appear as LAPD backup shotguns throughout the film. Both are reliable pump actions that have served law enforcement for decades. The Remington 870 in particular has been a police standard since it came out, with barrel lengths ranging from 18 to 28 inches depending on configuration. And this is where the movie goes full insanity. Now the film features one submachine gun that deserves attention. The assassin at the drive-in theater uses a Steyr TMP in 9mm. This Austrian design from 1992 has an extremely short 5.1-inch barrel, takes 30-round magazines, and weighs only 2.9 pounds. The compact size makes it perfect for concealed operations, and the assassin deploys it quickly from under his jacket. Let us break down the downtown shootout, because this sequence is why Heat became legendary. The criminals use bounding overwatch, which means they take turns providing cover fire while others move to new positions. The police respond with semi-automatic fire to minimize the risk of hitting civilians. The sound design deserves special attention here. The production team recorded all the gunfire live on set without dubbing in sounds later. This created that thunderous echo bouncing off the downtown buildings that makes the scene so memorable. Over 2,000 blank rounds were fired during each take of the shootout. Mann filmed the sequence over multiple weekends in the actual downtown Los Angeles streets, shutting down blocks at a time. The actors went through 3 months of firearms training before shooting began. Ex-SAS Sergeant Andy McNabb, the author of Bravo 20, designed the training program. Another SAS veteran named Mick Gould worked specifically with Val Kilmer and Tom Sizemore on their weapons handling and tactical movement. And here's the fun part. The actors started with live ammunition to learn proper safety and handling before switching to blanks for filming. Every reload, every magazine change, every tactical movement came from real military and law enforcement procedures. No CGI gunfire appears anywhere in Heat, Every muzzle flash and every spent casing is practical. The United States Marines and Army now use footage from the Heat shootout in their training programs for urban combat tactics. The scene demonstrates proper fire and movement, communication under stress, and the chaos of a real gunfight in a crowded environment. Heat influenced a real-world tragedy 2 years later. Now, this is where things get crazy. The 1997 North Hollywood shootout saw two bank robbers named Larry Phillips and Emil Madasarianu engage LAPD officers in a 44-minute gun battle. They wore body armor and carried automatic weapons, and police found themselves outgunned with their standard-issue handguns and shotguns. Investigators found a VHS copy of Heat at their home. This incident led directly to LAPD upgrading their patrol rifles and changed how American police departments across the country equip their officers for armed encounters. The film's legacy extends beyond law enforcement training. Directors like Christopher Nolan have cited the bank heist in Heat as inspiration for scenes in The Dark Knight. Gun enthusiasts and prop collectors continue to discuss and recreate the weapons from the film nearly 30 years later. Every firearm in Heat serves the story. The professional thieves choose reliable, high-capacity weapons that give them an advantage in firepower. The police carry standard-issue equipment with some modifications for the narrative. The escalation from pistols to rifles mirrors the escalation of the conflict between Hanna and McCauley. So which firearm from Heat surprised you the most? And if you want to see more breakdowns like this, check out our video on the guns of John Wick. Thanks for watching Real Caliber. See you in the next video.